What we're doing from this point forward is a debt strike 2025. If I have to do it alone and be insane, I will!
I'm 23 and I'm in $300,000 of debt. And I'm not stressed about it.
Did she seriously just say that with a straight face and then take a bite of her breakfast sandwich?
I'm not paying my student loans. The government keeps threatening all these things they're going to do to people if they don't pay their student loans. I don't think they realize we don't care.
You're gonna care when your check is garnished. So I must have missed the memo somewhere, but apparently the hot new money hack for 2025 is just simply not paying your debt. Literally ignoring it, pretending it doesn't even exist, and one day hoping that it just magically disappears. There are some pretty delusional people on social media that are out here acting like a credit card company is just going to write off your debt and leave you alone. But I have a feeling that a lot of these people are going to get a pretty painful news flash. Debt collectors don't play peekaboo. They will find you.
So about a year ago, I kind of had a nervous breakdown and stopped participating in capitalism. And what I mean by that is like, I stopped paying my bills and stopped giving a shit about my credit score that I had been working years and years and years to fix, because as I paid more and more, they were like, penalty. And so I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I just stopped. And like,
oh. Now I think we're gonna hear a lot of people mentioning their credit score and about how they don't care if their credit score is in the toilet because, I mean, let's be real, what's a credit score really for anyway? Some people have this mindset, I'm never gonna be able to afford to buy a home, so who cares about my credit score? Lots of people care about your credit score, honey. If you wanna rent an apartment, if you ever need to get a car loan, sometimes even if you want a good job, they will check your credit score. The whole idea that you only need a good credit score if you plan to take out a low interest loan or buy a house, it's completely inaccurate. A lot of these people are just willing to piss all of that away to avoid paying off their debts. We'll see how that works out for them.
now I'm getting all these things in the mail where they're like, you owe us money, and I'm like, prove it. And my credit score is somehow going up. It's like, we see all the hard work you've done at ignoring this, so like, we're gonna give you points, because that's, I think, how it really works. So anyway.
I think that's some misinformation right there. I have never, ever in my life heard of anybody not paying their bills or not paying on their debt and having their score go up. I think she's spreading some misinformation right here.
I guess the point is, none of this is real. We're on a big floating rock in the middle of, you know, the universe. And it's all made up and the points don't matter. You're doing great.
This is some really, really bad financial advice.
Listen, it's okay. I already forgave myself for student debt. You think I'm gonna pay that shit back? Listen, it's okay. I already forgave myself for student debt. You think I'm gonna pay that shit back?
It's the government's fault for trusting us with that kind of money. You know, that's a statement I don't completely disagree with. The fact that an 18-year-old is able to take out a loan for so much money without even having a job, I personally think that the student loan program is definitely setting up a lot of young adults to fail. I could go on a whole rant about student loans. I'm not going to today, but if you want to hear me do it, let me know down in the comments and I'll consider doing a video about it. But not paying your student loans, it's not really one of those debts that you want to ignore.
I never once paid a dime of my student loans, and I am more than fine. This country tries to control us with fear and fear of debt. Treat it like it doesn't exist. I'm telling you right now, do not pay. What can they do? Okay, so after you...
What can they do? What can they do? Sue you? Get judgments against you? Garnish your wages? Take your tax returns? What do you mean, what can they do?
Graduate from your university, like 6 months to a year later, you start getting all the bills from Sally Mae and you gotta get on a payment plan. Do not pay. What can they do? You're gonna get letters in the mail, right? And then you're gonna start getting phone calls, block them, one more person to block, just hang up. These bills that come in the mail, it's just paper. It's just paper.
Just paper? you're gonna get your ass garnished. They're going to attach to your tax returns. They're gonna stick their greedy little fingers in your bank accounts. They're gonna take what they're owed. What is this guy talking about?
Promise you, do not pay. I'm going to tell you why. Because I know a lot of you are like, well, then I'm going to have bad credit. Credit for what? Credit for what? For that $1.8 million house you're about to buy? Let's get real. Let's get real, okay? The amount of little bit of hard times that your credit will give you is not worth the 15 to 20 hours a week extra you are going to have to work to pay off the student debt. It is not worth your life. Do not pay. So based on my experience, after about 8 to 10 years, the letters and the phone calls definitely start dwindling. I've moved around a bunch in my 20s. They kind of couldn't get in touch with me, or it took them a while before they could. And then after that, your credit starts over again. It starts over again. I still have my education. I still have everything I learned. I still can use that to my benefit. And it should have been free. My goal in my life, and I've always stuck to it, is I'm not paying for anything if I should be getting it for free. Healthcare, I cracked the code. We can talk about that another time, but I'm telling you, do not pay. It is not worth your sanity. It is not worth your time. They are just controlling you with fear. They tried, everyone in my generation controlled with fear. Pay off your debt. It's going to ruin your life. Pay off your debt. It's going to ruin your life. No, not.
Okay, who the hell is this guy? Look at this first comment. Tell this to my friend who has $850 garnished out of her wages every month. Exactly. What do you mean, what can they do? That's what they can do. They can put a lien on your house. Exactly. My friend didn't pay. They wiped out his savings account. What the hell does this guy mean? What are they gonna do? Is this sarcasm? They garnished my income tax returns. Except some professions, they will take your license. They will garnish Social Security income. They will garnish your paycheck. Hey, bestie, yeah, I don't know about this one. They'll take your license if you're a professional. They can garnish Social Security up to 15% once it goes into default. Do you, but it's better to make an effort than to have to deal with that once you can't work anymore. Exactly. When you go to retire and you're planning to get your Social Security with, just let's be real, is Social Security even going to be there when a lot of us retire? I don't know. But when you're going to retire, you really want to have your Social Security garnished because of student loans that you refused to pay when you were young and able-bodied enough to work? Really?
I already wasn't planning on paying the student loans. I'm going to just give it to you straight right here. I was never planning on giving it back from the moment.
Now, it's this kind of mindset, I think, that's really detrimental to people because student loans are one of the worst. Okay, hold on. I shouldn't say one of. Any loan that you take out that you refuse to pay back is likely to bite you right in the ass. However, student loans are probably top of the line worst loans to take out if you have no intention to pay it back, because that is a government-backed loan. That's a government-backed loan. So if you take out a student loan and don't pay it back, that's when they're going to be garnishing your wages. They're going to put liens on your house. They're going to garnish your tax returns. They're going to attach to your Social Security. They're going to seize your bank accounts. People saying that they never plan to pay back their student loans, they've got to be on something, or they have to be severely misguided to believe that they can actually get away with that and just live their life to the fullest without any repercussions.
I signed up for it. I'm triple not paying it now. I'm triple not paying it now. Are y'all fucking crazy? Mind you, I'm not even supposed to be on this app. I quit this app, but I'm back now because shit has gotten out of hand. You're taking money out of people's checks to fund a schminicide? A schminicide? And you want me to take money from my own life, from thine own life, to fund a schminicide? When we got homeless people in tent cities, think of the darkness and depravity of that phrase. Cities of tents. And you want to send the tent city money over to the funding the schminicide? Kiss my ass. I'm not fucking doing it, okay? We could, I did the numbers. We could solve some hunger. We could feed some babies over here. We could have some social services. I look like a sick.
Did you or did you not take that money and use it? If you took that money and used it, you need to pay it back. You're not contributing money to fund all of these things, in her opinion. You're simply paying back a loan that you took for money that you spent.
I'm not paying my student loans. The government keeps threatening all these things they're going to do to people if they don't pay their student loans. I don't think they realize we don't care.
You're gonna care when your check is garnished? When are they gonna realize we don't care? Oh, you're gonna care when your bank account gets seized. You might not own a home, but you probably keep money in a bank account. They will reach their fingers into that bank account and take back what they are owed. And you won't like it then.
To care. We don't care about credit scores anymore. We don't care if you siphon our paychecks. We're just gonna quit and move on to the next company because that company was probably gonna fire us anyway.
Okay, well, if you're having your paychecks garnished, yeah, you can just move on to the next job and just keep job hopping over and over again to avoid having your checks garnished. But you know what? Your tax refunds will be gone. They can't get what they need out of your garnished checks. They'll attach to your tax refunds. And then when that's not enough for them, they'll just seize your bank accounts. They'll freeze them. They'll take the funds.
People don't stay at jobs like they used to. People aren't locked in to a job they have to stay at.
And let's just say this too. Do you really want to live a life where you're constantly dodging bill collectors? Do you want to live a life where you can only stay at a job for 90 days before having to move on because the government is going to start garnishing your wages for that student loan that you're avoiding paying? Really? That seems like a more stress-free life, because let's face it, a lot of these people are not paying their debts because they want a more stress-free life. They feel in over their head, they have too many debt payments, which I'm just gonna point out the obvious right now. You took out the loan. You spent the money. That's what debt is. Debt is taking money that was fronted to you because you didn't have it all and you spent it. So now you have to pay it back. And these people will gladly take the money and spend it, but then when it comes time to put up or shut up and pay what they owe, no, that's too stressful. I don't want to. These people need to fucking grow up.
For 35 years because they're getting a pension and great benefits. Those things don't happen anymore. So if you threaten to siphon people's paychecks, they're just going to quit and go to another company because that company was probably going to go bankrupt anyway and fire everybody in the next couple months. This is going to be so much work for the government to siphon paychecks, and it's not going to get them enough money. They're going to end up losing money because they're going to have to hire thousands of people to
They're not going to lose money. They're not going to lose money.
Try and get this money from people that don't have it. They're going to end up spending more money than they get in the long run. So these empty threats that they're giving us, they aren't scaring us. If the government's watching, it doesn't scare us. We don't have enough for that to scare us.
See, here's the thing. I have told you guys in the past that I have been financially destitute. I've been on food stamps. I've been in food bank lines. I've lived in a cockroach-infested apartment. I've been in the shit. I can tell you personally, I was never more scared of something like this than when I was in that situation. Because yeah, some people might say, if you have nothing to lose, then what are they gonna take? They can still take, especially a government entity. If you have very little, they will take everything that they can from you. They'll take it. The fact that she says it doesn't scare us, we don't have enough for it to scare us. From my own personal experience, when I didn't have enough, I was scared of having it all ripped away. I would be absolutely petrified of losing the last little bit of whatever it is that I had. So I don't think that that's a true statement. We don't have enough for that to scare us. I think that they're scared. They're just saying they're not on the internet.
So I won't pay the hospital then if you take my student loans out of my check. It's one or the other. We pay our health care and our medical bills, or we pay our student loan bills. or our credit cards or our loans. Like, we can't pay it all. We're not making enough to pay it all.
Then why did you take the loans? Why are you spending on credit cards? Now, medical bills is one thing. Like, you can't help medical bills. If you don't have insurance, or even if you do have insurance and you end up with big medical bills, that's not something that can be helped. I understand that. But you can control spending on your credit cards. You can control what loans you're taking out. The entities that you've borrowed against loaned that money expecting to have it paid back. What makes it okay to not pay back the money that you borrowed? Loans are not free money. These entities were not just giving out free money. You were given money and expected to pay it back. There is a real lack of personal accountability in these days, I'm telling you.
We're not sitting back and living in mansions, going on 20 vacations a year like the billionaires and saying, I don't want to pay my student loans. That's not it. We literally can barely afford life.
Then why are you taking out the loans? So I will tell you this. I mentioned I lived in the shit, right? I struggled in my early 20s, something awful. I did use loans and credit cards as a way to survive. I know that there might be this mindset of people had no choice but to take out these loans. People had no choice but to use credit cards because the cost of living is so high, they can't afford to eat and keep their lights on and pay their rent. I get that. I lived it. I was opening credit cards just to buy things that I thought I needed at the time. Looking back now, did I need to take out a credit card to buy baby clothes for my son? No, my ass could have been at Goodwill getting stuff. Or he was a baby, he could have just lived in a diaper. It was fine. Did I need to open credit cards for even half the stuff that I spent money on? Probably not. And that's coming from someone who was broke. Looking back now, I realize I probably spent money on a lot of things I didn't need to when I was broke. I could have gone without. Because when you're broke, there's few things that you actually need. You need a roof over your head. You need running water. You need lights. You might even need internet. But I have a very strong suspicion that a lot of these people that are complaining about not being able to pay back all of these debts, I'm willing to bet that they use that debt to buy things that they really didn't need. And now when the bill comes due, they say, I can't afford to pay that, sorry, so I'm just not gonna do it. Again, with the personal accountability.
We're just choosing which bills to pay. And the student loan one was taken off of the plate. I have less. Back when I was paying my student loans and the economy was a little better, I had more money back then, even with paying the student loans. I have less money now, and you want to take the student loans on top of it. I can't even be nervous about it because I can't afford it. I don't know what you're going to take from me, but whatever you take, that means I'm not going to pay something else because I don't have that kind of money.
They don't care that you don't have that kind of money. They will take it. She says if they take it, I can't pay something else. Okay, well, either you pay it or they're going to take it. At least when you pay it, you have some resemblance of control over how much you've paid, when you've paid, and how much money is left to pay the other bills that you say you can't afford. They stick their grubby little fingers into your bank account, that relinquishes all control. And if you're somebody that doesn't have a lot, control means a lot.
I'm 23 and I'm in $300,000 of debt. And I'm not stressed about it.
Did she seriously just say that with a straight face and then take a bite of her breakfast sandwich? She's $300,000 in debt and she don't stress about it? Oh.
Passed away tomorrow, that debt disappears.
No, the debt doesn't disappear. Just because you pass away doesn't mean the debt disappears. Oh my gosh.
And honestly, as long as I can afford my daily Starbucks, I'm good. I am not stressing.
You know what? Okay, I know I'm insane and I know I'm the internet's favorite crash out. What I'm gonna say right now is I'm not paying my debt anymore. What we're doing from this point forward is a debt strike 2025. If I have to do it alone and be insane, I will. I literally will. The fact that we would continue paying our debt, we can't stop paying our rent because that's too crazy. It'll put a lot of people in harm. I'm sick of protesting. It does nothing. I don't want to go to war because look how skinny my arms are. We have to do something. I'm not paying my debt. You can join me on this or you cannot. I'm gonna take a picture of, and I'm going to keep records of the debt that I have right now, because when the interest rates go up on that, I'm not paying those either, even when they start to meet our demands. And the demands are as such: abolish ICE, okay? I want those men home from El Salvador, I don't care! And, we need to protect Medicaid. The Department of Education needs to be restored. I want critical race theory in the classroom, period. We need to literally be delusional. I'm gonna be delusional right now. I will stand here right now, be delusional, make fun of me all you want. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. And if they don't meet our demands, then what we're gonna do is then we're gonna stop paying our rent. But for right now, stop paying your bills. Stop paying your debt. We're gonna start there. And it's like, what the fuck do I have to, oh, my credit score for the house that I'll never buy? I already am not allowed to rent because I don't make enough money. I have to have a cosigner anyway, so what does my credit score even fucking matter? What does it matter, bro? Literally, what? I want Doge out of office. We're done with him. We're done with him. And free healthcare for all people. I'm so dead serious. Guys, we're done with this. You know what?
What did I just watch? Okay, the fact that she thinks that there is enough people in the United States that can join her in just not paying their bills and not care, I don't think it's enough to matter. I don't think that's enough to make it matter. I think that she's delusional, and I think that she thinks that the world revolves around her. I don't think she realizes how many people are within the United States and how many people it would take to actually do this with her and enact change. I think she's delusional. Yeah.
Just don't pay your loans back. You don't owe anybody anything anyway. You see, the money that you've taken out as a loan is yours. You created it. If people understood exactly how money works, you'd understand that you don't owe anybody any money. Like, let me ask you.
What? If you understand how it works, you'd understand you don't really owe anybody any money. Okay, this digital age dad, I have to know exactly what he means by this.
This question. When you take out a loan from the bank, where does that money come from? You see, we're sold this idea that when you take a loan out from the bank is somehow giving you something that they already own, and therefore you have to give it them back. But the thing is, when you take out a loan, that money didn't exist until you signed that piece of paper and gave the order to the bank to create that money. You created the money. Your signature created the money. You are the backing for the loan. And when you understand that you don't owe the bank anything because it didn't exist until you created it, why do you have to pay it back? And so they then threaten you with this idea, well, if you don't pay it back, you might get a CCJ and it might go on your credit report, right? Okay. And you see, this is the problem. We're told that debt is a good thing to have, but not told what debt should be used for. Debt should be used to buy assets, because once you've got assets that create money themselves, you then don't care about your credit report because banks will just...
Okay. That is something that I do agree with. I do think that the only good debt is the debt that can generate a revenue for you as long as you are smart about it. But he literally says right here, banks will throw money at you anyway. Yeah, if you have a good credit score, banks aren't going to continue to throw money at you if you're taking out loans and not paying them back. What the hell is this guy saying?
Throw money at you anyway. So don't pay your debts back. Nothing's going to happen. And then make money.
Is this guy really saying that banks will just throw money at you even if you have a bad credit score because you're taking out loans and not paying them back? Or is he trying to say, use your good credit score to take out loans to then buy assets to generate revenue, but don't worry about paying your loan back because you've already got the assets? So let's say he's talking about buying a piece of property. Let's say he's talking about buying a house. Let's say he's talking about stacking real estate, and that's the kind of debt you're talking about. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you take out a loan to buy a house and you don't pay that loan, pretty sure they'll take your house. because the bank is going to, in one way or another, get their money. And if you use that loan to buy assets, especially if you got the loan specifically to buy real estate, they're going to take that property. I mean, unless I have this whole thing ass backwards, let me know in the comments.
I don't know why people fearmonger student loans, because America is in $1 trillion worth of debt.
People fearmonger student loans because it's a government-backed loan and they're going to get their money regardless of whether or not you want to pay it back, honey. That's why.
And like a true American, I'm not paying my debt off either. Land of the free and the home of the brave.
So let me get this straight. They made you go to college and then they made you take out a loan when you were 18 and didn't know what you were doing. So the amount of nonsense that I'm hearing on this app around the student loan repayment is crazy. And all it boils down to is lack of accountability. My daughter went to college. She went to Clark Atlanta. We didn't qualify for financial aid. And she would call me and say, Mom, my friends are getting credit cards and they're taking out loans. And I told her, because she was only 18, and you know when you're 18, you don't know anything. That's what you guys are trying to say. And I told her, as her parent, don't you dare take a credit card and don't you dare take out a loan. And let me tell you why. And we had a whole little conversation about loan repayment and FICO scores. So I don't want to hear that when you were 18, someone forced you to go to college and then made you take out a loan, because a lot of y'all are hundreds of $1,000s in debt, not from a 4-year college stint. It's because you went back to college as an adult when you had, when you knew what you were doing, because apparently when you were 18, no one told you what a loan was, even though you signed for it. Stop. Take accountability. No one cares that you have bills to pay and all these things. If you had a mortgage right now, you couldn't say, I'm not paying it. And then I heard people saying, well, a mortgage and an auto loan is not the same. I do agree that those student loans were predatory, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Student loans are crazy predatory. They're crazy predatory. Just the fact that they're willing to give so much money to somebody that's so young and inexperienced with debt, that alone in and of itself is predatory. But then when you start factoring in the things like the interest rates and deferment and forbearance and just letting your balance stack up, there are people that have been making loan payments and their principal is now bigger than the original loan that they took even after making payments. The whole entire student loan system is sleazy and predatory.
They were at the campuses throwing Amex cards at these kids. But that doesn't give you an excuse for not paying your bills and not paying your loan back. Loans are not free money. Who did you think was going to pay it in the event you couldn't? Like, I don't understand why there's so much discourse around these loan repayments. You took out the loan and you have to pay it back. And short of all of the little workarounds that you guys are saying, oh, I'm just going to have my job pay me in a check and not direct deposit. Figure it all out, because all I'm saying is when you're looking around for workarounds to not pay your debt, that's speaking to your character. And I'm sure you guys don't care. But the lack of accountability that I talk about on this app is wild. And there is one group of people that are the ones making excuses. I didn't know what I was doing. I was only 18. They tell us that we have to go to college. Who's they? I don't understand. You were 18 and you didn't have a parent that you could ask for, like, hey, mom, hey, dad. So you were just away in college, just taking money and thinking that it was free. Pay back your debt, learn a lesson, and maybe teach your kids not to sign contracts that require you to pay back something.
Here's the problem, though. I know from personal experience, I've mentioned I have a 19-year-old son. He is hard-headed. Son, if you're watching, I love you, but you are hard-headed. I could tell him, don't eat that habanero. Just because it's orange, it doesn't mean that it's safe. Don't eat that habanero. Your nose is gonna bounce off your face because it's gonna be too spicy. And he's gonna say, what are you talking about? Habaneros aren't spicy. Orange peppers aren't spicy. And I could say, son, I'm telling you that habanero's hot. And he's gonna take a bite of it right in front of me. Sometimes it doesn't matter what we try to teach our children. They're just gonna have to learn the hard way. At the end of the day, ignoring your debt does not make you a financial genius. It just makes you a future cautionary tale. Because trust me, that bill that you're dodging today is the repo man, the wage garnishment, or a credit score dumpster fire that's just waiting to happen tomorrow. What do you think? Are these people actually onto something, or are they just digging their own financial graves? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like videos like this, remember to hit the thumbs up before you leave. And while you're down there, also double check and make sure that you are subscribed. Ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post my next video. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.